As mayor and presiding officer, my role under the town charter, town Dumfries rules of procedure, and the Roberts rules of order is to ensure that we have orderly process in the business and to maintain a decorum for all of our participants, our council, our staff, and the public, so that they can be heard fairly and respectfully. To that end, please note the following requirements, which apply equally to the public and the council. All comments must be directed through the mayor, who is the chair and presiding officer of the meeting. No comments should be directed to an individual member, staff, or member of the public. We ask that you keep all your side conversations, whispering, and crosstalk to a minimum, and that all remarks a part of this official record should be made audible for the room. Electronic devices, silence them, please. No text and email and message related to public business matters up here are subject to FOIA and should be avoided. We ask that no one speak while another person has the floor. All interruptions will be ruled out of order. Council members will be recognized by the mayor before speaking. Council members may speak up to 2 times on any item with a combined total of no more than 10 minutes. Members of the public are allotted 3 minutes to speak during citizen comment time or public hearing unless otherwise changed by a majority vote of council prior to the meeting. During citizen comment time, council members will not respond directly to the speakers. Any responses, clarifications, or follow-up remarks may be offered later during a designated council comment time. Any member ruled out of order must yield the floor immediately unless the ruling is appealed to the council in accordance with Robert rules. Clapping, yelling, or other outbursts are not permitted unless invited by the presiding officer. Disruptive behavior may result in removal from the meeting and, if necessary, expulsion for the remainder of the session. Speakers who exceed the allotted time or violate decorum may have their microphone silenced. Council direction must be given collectively to the town manager. Political commentary or attempts to draw staff into political matters are not appropriate. Staff are expected to remain neutral and professional. These rules are designed to protect the rights of all participants, to ensure compliance with the law, and keep our meetings efficient, respectful, and productive. Thank you for your cooperation. With that, I now call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilmember Fields. Councilmember Pete.
Here.
Councilmember Young.
Here.
Councilmember Peterson. Here. Chair Pro Tem Miles.
Present.
Vice Mayor Nickerson. Mayor Wood.
Present.
Thank you.
All right, we'll now have our opening prayer from Reverend Alex Fruder Ajuman from Fountain Gate Chapel.
I would ask that we be on our feet for a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We commit this meeting into your hands. We ask for your presence. We pray for the town and the leadership, Lord. We ask for wisdom, unity, and understanding to do whatever they have to do. And as we ask for your presence, we pray for this nation. Our servicemen are at war. We pray for your peace. We pray, Lord, that your mighty hand will protect this nation, Lord. That in the end, your name alone be glorified. We thank you that this prayer has been answered. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. With liberty and justice for all. All right, you may be seated. All right. Next on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
you was about to say something?
No, but
I heard,
yeah, the town manager, we got 2 resolutions to add to the agenda. All right. two resolutions to the consent agenda, one for FY27 community project funding and one for FY27 congressional direct spending. So we'll add both of those to the consent agenda. We have copies of that. Yeah. All right, so I'll make the motion to amend the agenda to add those two resolutions to the consent agenda regarding our FY27 community project funding and our FY27 congressional direct spending.
Mr. Mayor, I will second that motion.
Okay. Is there anything else to add? Any discussion? All right. Seeing no discussion, seeing no more commentary, Madam Clerk, we will call for the question.
Councilmember Pete,
Yes.
Councilmember Young,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miles,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nickerson,
No.
Mayor Wood.
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right. Next on the agenda is awards and proclamation. First proclamation is for the Phi Kappa Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. It reads as following. Whereas the Phi Kappa Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated has demonstrated a longstanding commitment to service, leadership, and community advocacy within Dumfries, Woodbridge, and the entire greater Prince William County region. And whereas the chapter has provided consistent volunteer support to the Axe Food Pantry in Dumfries, assisting families through food preparation, distribution, and ongoing service to the residents. The chapter has supported survivors of domestic violence through donations of essential items and partnership efforts that provide comfort, advocacy, resources to individuals and families. They've invested in the future of our youth by donating books, school supplies, backpacks to local students, awarding over $24,000 in scholarships to support educational achievement. They've actively contributed to civic life and community pride through participation in our Juneteenth celebration, the African American Heritage Festival, holiday parades. They have environmental stewardship efforts and initiatives promoting voter education and civic engagement. So now, therefore, on behalf of the Dumfries Town Council and residents, we do hereby recognize and commend the Phi Kappa Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated for its outstanding service, leadership, and positive impact on the town of Dumfries and surrounding communities, and also recognize them today for Women's History Month. So we encourage all residents to join us in celebrating their contribution, thanking them for their commitment and their continued to service. Signed, this third.
Y'all can get on the other side. You don't want them all on one side?
No, I'm just.
Huh? Some on that side. Some of y'all get on this side.
There's two on the side. All right. Here we are. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Olivia? No.
Good evening. My name is Alejandra Phillip Barkers. I currently serve as the president of Phi Kappa Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. On behalf of the ladies of Phi Kappa Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude and thanks to the mayor and the town of Dumfries for acknowledging us today by providing us this proclamation for the work that we continue to do within this community. It is truly an honor to be acknowledged for the service that we continue to do in the town of Dumfries. Service is at the heart of this organization, and we continue to deliver dedication through impact, meaningful impact through the town of Dumfries. We will continue to uplift this community with our partnership with the town of Dumfries through works that we provide to the ACT Center, of scholarships that we provide to young ladies. Once again, thank you so much to the mayor and the residents of the town of Dumfries for acknowledging us this evening. Thank you.
Next, we want to do a proclamation honoring the life and the legacy of Mr. Timothy Pop Mac McClain. On February 11th, 1927, Mr. Timothy McClain was born into a world vastly different from the one he would help shape through his quiet strength and faithful service. In 1971, he made Northern Virginia his home and became a devoted member of Ebenezer Baptist Church in Occoquan, not merely attending, but anchoring himself as a pillar within its wall. And for more than 55 years, he faithfully served as a facility manager, cemetery ministry manager, the culinary ministry manager, and in countless unseen ways embodying the principle century of life. Mr. McClain exemplified perseverance, faith, discipline, and love of community, living not for applause, but for impact, and leaving behind a blueprint of integrity for generations to follow. On February 11, 2026, he celebrated his 99th birthday, marking almost 100 years of wisdom, sacrifice, family, and unwavering devotion to God and community. And on February 26, he peacefully departed this life, closing a remarkable earthly chapter while leaving a legacy that will endure far beyond his years. And during Black History Month, we honored not only the well-known names in history books, but also the faithful servants whose daily commitment sustained our churches, strengthened our families, and stabilized our communities. And Mr. McClain stands among those quiet giants. And whereas the town of Dumfries recognized that communities are not built only by policy and progress, but by people of character, people like Mr. Timothy Pop Mac McClain. And so now, therefore, be it proclaimed, the Town Council of Dumfries does hereby honor and celebrate the life and the enduring legacy of Mr. Timothy Pop Mac McClain, and we extend our deepest condolences to his family, to his friends, to the Ebenezer Baptist Church community, and with profound gratitude for his nearly century-long example of faith, humility, and service. Signed, Mayor Derek R. Wood, by order of the council.
Mr. Mayor, point of privilege, please. Out of respect of the Mr. Timothy McClain having impact on several of us within this community, I'm going to request that we have the entire council come down for this picture, please. Thank you.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I'm having a little technical difficulty, so I want to take a 5-minute recess. All right, welcome back. Next on the agenda is proclamation honoring Colonel William Grayson. Whereas Colonel William Grayson was born in Prince William County in 1740 and established his law practice right here in Dumfries, Virginia, contributing to the civic and legal foundations of our community. In 1774, Colonel Grayson was named commanding officer of the Prince William Cadets, the first revolutionary militia in the county, demonstrating early leadership in the cause of American liberty. He served with distinction as an aide-de-camp to General George Washington and formed his own regiment for the Continental Line during the Revolutionary War, advancing the fight for independence. Following the war, Colonel Grayson served in the Continental Congress and is credited as one of the authors of the Northwest Ordinance, which laid the groundwork for the expansion of the United States and the abolition of slavery in territories that will become Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. And he was a steadfast defender of individual rights and liberties, advocating strongly during Virginia's ratification debates for the inclusion of a Bill of Rights to ensure that the freedoms secured by the Revolution would be protected for future generations. Colonel William Grayson was elected as one of Virginia's first United States senators and remained the only U.S. senator ever elected from Prince William County. And as our nation approaches the 250th anniversary of its founding, it is fitting that we pause to honor those early leaders whose courage, intellect, and commitment to liberty helped shape both our Commonwealth and our country. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, on behalf of the Town Council, the citizens of Dumfries, we do hereby proclaim March the 12th as Colonel William Grayson Day in the town of Dumfries, and we encourage all residents to reflect upon his enduring legacy of leadership, service, and dedication to the principles of freedom and constitutional government. Signed, Mayor Derek R. Wood, Mayor, by order of the Town Council. Yeah, first U.S. Senator. Yeah.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Melanie, you'll be number 2. No. From Prince William, that's good.
I'm not competing against that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Town Council. My name is Andrew Mills. I am the president of the Colonel William Grayson Chapter, Sons of the American Revolution. And on behalf of our 180 plus members, I'd like to thank you for this proclamation recognizing our chapter namesake. Colonel Grayson was a revolutionary figure who advocated hard for individual rights and liberties. He believed firmly in our principles of unfortunately, he doesn't give us a great all-inspiring quote, but I believe historian Elizabeth Winslow does a very good job when she says, "The American Revolution is never truly over. It continues on to this day. Each of us carry with us that fire and spirit of the revolution, that we must hold it and harness it so in every day of our lives, so that we never forget the principles and foundations of our country, so that we embody all that we want this country to be and all that we know it can become." And so I would like to take this opportunity to invite the mayor, the council, all those in attendance here today, and also those viewing online to come out on March 15 at 1 p.m., 2338 West Longview Drive, the gravesite of Colonel William and Reverend Spence Grayson, where we'll be commemorating their patriotism during the Revolutionary War. And furthermore, on July the 23rd, with hopefully in the backdrop, that being of the Prince William County Rev War Monument, we will be able to honor the 250th anniversary of the Richland Raid, where the Patriots of Prince William County drove out the last and final British soldiers under the command of Lord Dunmore, the last Virginia colonial governor, from our shore, and we would be free of any British incursion for 5 years. This particular event is unique because it was only a few days earlier that Virginia had learned that we had given out the Declaration of Independence. And so here we are receiving notification. We are a free and independent nation, and we drove out those who wanted to say no. Pennsylvania says America starts here. Massachusetts says the war starts here. But let's be honest, it all started here in Prince William, and specifically Dumfries, with the Patriots of our town. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is the approval of our town council minutes from the February 3rd, 2026 meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move that we approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Second. All right, it's been motioned and second. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, Madam Clerk, call for the question.
Councilmember Pete,
Yes.
Councilmember Young,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miles, Vice Mayor Nickerson, Mayor Wood.
Yes.
That motion's passed. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is our citizen comment time. Madam Clerk, any citizens signed up to speak tonight?
We have 2 citizens who signed up to speak. First person is Daniel Monreal.
I'm very grateful to be here, and a lot of times there's not enough time to meet each one of you, talk to you, get to know each other, and see what we have to offer for our community. So that is the reason that myself and my brothers that are sitting in the back, second council meeting we've been here, because we want to know our mayor, our council members, and also let y'all know what we are looking for. We want to be part of Dumfries, the Light of the World Church is asking the town council to revisit an ordinance that was presented and adopted January 3rd, 2018. A motion duly made by Mr. Foreman and seconded by Ms. Willis. The ordinance that was amended in the town of Dumfries was the comprehensive plan as adopted July 8, 2014. The ordinance permitted under section 770-247B pursuant to a conditional permit churches and places of worship. Also section 70-282B, which was in existence, but it was taken out. 2014 adopted 2018. We're asking for the opportunity to be part of the town of Dumfries, bringing growth, strength, prosperity to those around us. We will also bring a strong economy through what we call the driver demand to the town by providing and consuming within the community. We're asking for the mayor and council members, which most were not present when the changes were made to exclude churches from the code ordinance in the business and commercial districts, to re-amend what some of your predecessors deleted from what was permitted. We want to be part of the growth, as we've heard what y'all are bringing down the pipeline, something very unique for this area. We want to be a part of it. We want to work hand in hand with y'all, with the mayor, council members, the community, to uplift Dumfries and make it a better place. I appreciate your time and you listening to what we want to bring here to Dumfries. I will be emailing my information to each one of you. If you have any questions, any concerns before you make a decision. I also know it's in your hands. God bless.
Bless you as well. Madam Clerk, anyone else signed up to speak?
The next person is Jose Orinos.
Good evening. I am a pastor with the Light of the World Church. Here also with my brother in faith, Daniel Monreal, and my members of the church. Our job, our mission as the Light of the World Church, the Church of Jesus Christ, is to establish good citizens and good Christians. And the way this works is bringing not only older people, because most people usually looking for a church when they get at an old age because they think they're almost gonna die. But the Light of the World Church brings the gospel even to children, because in the Bible states to guide the children, or to guide the children when they're young, so when they get older, they will be able to guide or to follow the good steps. And we have good citizens, good Christians, we won't be having what we have in most of the cities, most of the country, going to chaos because, having drugs, having all kinds of bad things. So all we do is bring the word of God. As people come in and hear the word of God, I'm a person that God changed my life 25 years ago. And after that, I realized that bringing the word, not putting the word in the person, but bringing the word and making people make decisions. And that's a decision, God makes upon us when we change our way of life. So this is what Pastor Daniel, myself, and the members of the Light of the World, we are in Goodbridge right now, and we've seen an opportunity here in Dumfries to bring the gospel, to be able to work with the community, like my brother says. So this will be an opportunity. We're asking the mayor, the council, to give us an opportunity to show that we are here to make a change spiritually and, of course, materially as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Your grandfather passed. Okay. Next, I want to acknowledge National Women's History Month, which started in 1978. And like Black History, it started as a week and became a national month-long observance in 1987, spotlighting achievements and continued efforts in advocating for gender equality. I also want to invite everyone to the town's community health fair on March 13th, 2026, from 9 to 3. With free screening and screening kits and even A1C testing. And finally, speaking on healthcare, specifically mental health, I'd like to thank our legislative representative who passed a bill yesterday that requires full-time public school teachers and staff to complete specific training to improve the ability to identify, support, and refer students in distress to appropriate care without discriminating against students with mental health disorders. I just want to thank everyone also too for coming out tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Pete?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for that, Councilman Young. For those that, circling back, for those that knew Mr. McClain, Mr. Pop Mac from here to the county to Mississippi to Chicago to overseas, and I believe it was Korea to all over. Being a retired veteran, you know, was wanting me to speak up on this. It was amazing, some of the things and the impact that Mr. McClain had on this community and surrounding community. I mean, you know, I remember when Miss Abigail Spanberger came and sat in the yard with him and sat there and talked with him for about 45 minutes to an hour. You know, just every time she comes into the town, she's, where's Timothy McClain at? Where's Timothy McClain? So, you know, out of support of that and some of the council members and some of the surrounding community and within, just want to say thank you guys for your support and some of your remarks and comments and love that you showed. Town manager, thank you as well. It's just been amazing that the love you guys have been showing. Just want to just take a little quick brief and thank you guys on that. I also want to thank our Public Works Department. During our last heavy snow that we had, that we haven't had in a while, more so ice storm, more so, our Public Works Department did an excellent job in stepping up and making sure that we were safe around here as far as transportation goes, as far as traveling with our vehicles, as far as diving into the town-owned properties and sidewalks, and even some abroad there. Thank you, guys. Town manager, thank you for that with your staff. Again, guys, if we having those moments to where we having those inclement weathers and things like that, and we ask that you do clean the responsibility of yourselves as well as we take care of ours. But if you see something within the town, don't hesitate to let one of your elected leaders know or come up to the town and give the town a call to let them know of something that we can take care of for you guys. Yes, you outstanding job. It was an outstanding job. Moving forward with that, I want to highlight that we'll be moving, that as we get going into our summer warm months this go round, be mindful that some of our neighbors are still still have broken units within the town of Dumfries here. So I'm going to ask that and what I mean by broken units, I'm saying that some units around the town have broken during the winter storm here, and we have some citizens that are down without that are using mechanisms like the emergency heat because the units and things like that are frozen and they're working on things like that. But so if you see a neighbor, hear a neighbor, alert somebody to see if we can assist. I know we can't really dive in and do the total work of everything, but check on my main goal here is to check on your neighbors. Don't forget about checking on your neighbors as we transition. It's going to be a quick transition. As I look, we're going to zoom to the 77s and 80s real quick. So Dumfries, as we always do, just check on your neighbors. With that, Mr. Mayor, I yield.
Councilwoman Peterson.
With it being Women in History Month, I'd like to congratulate me and two other of my colleagues here for History Month, Women's History Month, and that's about it. Thank you, I yield.
Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would also like to extend my condolences to the family of Mr. Pop Mac. I had the pleasure of actually being his neighbor for a few years, and I lived a couple doors down from him. And I can say that he is truly a pillar of the community. He is what you would aspire a neighbor to be. He was always loving, very kind. He just, not a bad bone in his body. If there's anything he could do for you, he was going to do it without asking or anything. He was just a kind soul. So he will be missed, but Mr. Mack had a huge family. So the work of Mr. Mack is traveling throughout our community and throughout wherever he touched, because he really instilled that in his family. So I just want to say that, and I'm keeping y'all in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
I want to extend my deepest condolences to the McClain family. Thank you. I yield.
Good evening. Just to add to a story, personally, I mean, anybody who's seen Mr. Mack at 99 years old. church family. So you knew you see Mr. Mack out in the community no matter what. I think a week up to his passing, I seen him pulled up to the dry cleaners yelling at me. So I mean, just a week before he passed, just in that truck. So he will be missed in this community. As far as my prepared remarks, I just want to say, to all our friends and family that's always listening, our vision for Dumfries, it remains clear. A well-managed government, a thriving Main Street, and a waterfront and community that is informed and engaged. And that vision, it's not seasonal, it's structured. Thank you for bringing back the light. We hear your comments, we acknowledge them. We have been through our comprehensive plan again this year. We just passed the Dumfries 2044 plan, and we just redid it, updated all of our land use and how we do it. So we're confident that March and on will continue to build on that structure. For me, over the past several weeks, for us in this town, we've continued to position and to continue to build bridges for Dumfries beyond our borders, because strong towns, they don't operate in isolation. I've joined members of this council. We had the opportunity to go down to the Virginia Municipal League for Local Government Day. We engage directly with our state legislators to reinforce what our legislative priorities was. And it's important that you know that those relationships matter for Dumfries, the policy alignment matters, and all of our advocacy, it matters for you. I also had the opportunity to go connect with Senator Kane during a recent Commonwealth Coffee to continue conversations around funding pathways that align with our long-term vision and our comprehensive plan. In addition, we met with staff and our lobbyists to explore other funding avenues to continue to advance climate and environmental initiatives, particularly as they relate to the long-term flood mitigating planning in Quantico Creek. Because if we're serious about protecting our infrastructure and strengthening our waterfront, we got to be very proactive in securing the right partnerships. As part of that commitment, I became a recent member of Climate Mayors and also ICLEI, Local Government for Sustainability USA, and completed a 6-month Mayor's Climate Action Training Program. As a result of completing that, they're going to now provide us with technical resources and guidance, and our staff will begin working with them developing a climate action framework for Dumfries that they will give us for free as a result of that. These steps ensure that our town is informed, prepared, and competitive when environmental and resilient funding opportunities become available. Also attended a summit with fellow African-American mayors at Axon. They're the ones who do all our body cameras and our tasers. They focus on public safety, innovation, and emerging technology. Because public safety, it continues to remain foundational. So when families, when they decide where they want to live and do business at, they choose to invest where safety and stability are non-negotiables in the community. And I want to recognize our staff again for the work and because we missed the meeting, for the work they did for setting up the warming station during the peace walk that came to town. Was able to pull that off in a short amount of time, and it brought hundreds of visitors to our town. And that's what community looks like, showing up with preparation, partnership, and purpose when it matters. We also had Congressman Vindman, who stopped by our offices. He wanted to discuss the building naming and why was it named John Wilmer Porter and Black History Month, and he really wanted to understand our history and the grounds for our future. And I think that was important because legacy matters, and history is not just in building, but it's in people telling those stories. And, if you missed it, you missed our Black History program. We had another wonderful event that was committed to honoring those people, the stories that shape it. My closing thoughts were every town has moments of pressure. Every leader has moments of scrutiny. Every season tests your foundation. But here's than it was years ago. and more positioned for opportunity than ever before. We're going to continue to lead with discipline. We're going to continue to build with attention, and we'll continue to move Dumfries forward. And before I close, I'd be remiss if we didn't take a moment to recognize the lifetime contributions of the Reverend Jesse Jackson Jr., who they were laid to rest on Thursday in Chicago. For decades, Reverend Jackson, he reminded this country that democracy works best when everyone has a seat at the table. His work in civil rights, economic opportunity, and voter engagement helped express access and participation for millions of Americans. And his message was simple, but it was powerful. Keep hope alive. You know, keep hope alive, and to let everybody know that they were somebody. And that message still resonates today in communities like Dumfries, and as we continue to work of building opportunity and expanding participation to ensure that every voice matters. So just wanted to make sure we recognize the Reverend Jesse Jackson Jr. and his life and his legacy as we move forward. Did I miss anything? Okay. Good. Madam Clerk, Manager.
Mayor, members of council, I just wanted to make sure that we extend a courtesy to your citizenry to let them know that we will be receiving a ceremonial check presentation from Congressman Vindman on March 10th at 11:30. So if anyone wanted to come out to participate in that, they're welcome to do so. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I had to be here in the council chambers.
Yes, sir.
Okay, on March the 10th. So we have federal dollars that are being reinvested right back here in our community. So I'll come on out for that. All right. And I think now we will move to an introduction of our new employee. So we'll have our planner come up, and we'll have Reggie come up and do the introductions of our new employee. That's not the police for you.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Chair Pro Tem, and members of council, I have the pleasure this evening of introducing our new planner. Her name is Abigail Cherotich, and we have been given the ability for those of us, including myself, who struggle with the rolling R, to pronounce it Cherotich. And we will have a presentation shortly of the comprehensive plan update status.
Anything special you want to tell us about her?
Well, I will include it in the presentation.
Let's see if our technology, I bear with us. Y'all know how technology is. It's a gift and a curse.
Yes. Okay.
But in spite of it, we will overcome and adapt with enthusiasm.
Oh, is it not? Okay. I'm doing something wrong.
And on behalf of the council, we want to welcome you. I know we were silent when he introduced you, but we welcome you and thank you for choosing Dumfries as your place to work and to make a lasting contribution and to continue to add value. Thank you for being here. And I'm not going to try to roll the R because I couldn't do it in Spanish class for 4 years. So I appreciate you not holding us to the rolling R.
Oh, there it is. Great. Awesome. Okay. Let's see.
All right, so we'll move right into our presentation on our comp plan implementation status report about 2044 comprehensive plan. You know, I think we come a long way from both the 2014 and 2018 to this one. So you'll see this one is very comprehensive. Thank you, Mr. Tabor. The floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. And let's see, do I need to use this? No? Okay, great. So I would like to again introduce our new planner, Abigail Cherotich. And Abigail is originally from Uganda. She has a master's degree in community and regional planning from Iowa State University in Ames, Iowa. And among other skills, Abigail brings geographic information systems, or GIS, abilities to our team. And GIS provides mapping, data analysis, and data reporting capabilities that Abigail will demonstrate later in this presentation. Okay. So just as a review, the comprehensive plan is the town of Dumfries' 20-year vision for the future. It reviews current conditions of the town and recommends a series of visions, goals, policies, and actions to shape local government decisions over the next 20 years. Community participation and stakeholder input were vital to ensure the recommendations reflect Dumfries' needs and values. The town council adopted the final draft of the comprehensive plan update in June 17th of 2025 to be precise. And the Dumfries Comprehensive Plan 2024 update, Destination Dumfries 2044, builds on the town's strategic plan that was adopted by town council in 2024, and which outlines a series of goals and objectives from 2024 to 2027. And so the comprehensive plan includes an implementation chapter, and within that chapter, we identify elements or chapters, the vision statement related to within those chapters, goals, policies, actions, action types, and timeframes. And this chart illustrates that we have 9 chapters or elements. We have 25 vision statements. We have 25 goals. We have 63 policies and 355 action items. This also illustrates the action items, the 355 action items by element or chapter. We see that transportation is the largest with 92, followed by land use and livability at 72 and on down. And this illustrates the percentage of each of the action items by element or chapter. And this chart illustrates the actions by type. We have 37% are administrative actions, 7% are capital projects, 22% are code amendments, 5% are interagency agreements, and 28% are additional plans. Oops. Okay, and for the sake of time, yes, and also the actions have assigned timeframes, and we have a chart that illustrates the timeframes, short, medium, and long, and then some actually extend across different timeframes, and we have the percentages of each. Then we have a spreadsheet or matrix that includes each of the 355 action items. And for each of the items, we also have a status and a next step. And so we have within the comprehensive plan a dashboard that has been created by our new planner, Ms. Cherotich. And the dashboard was created using Esri software, and that's a GIS software. And it includes each action item and status information. And now I'd like to bring Ms. Cherotich up to present the dashboard. Let's see, I think he's going to need to drive.
Okay, so before that, would you go back to the first page? Can you go back? Okay. So the dashboard is basically to simplify the metrics. So we have the comprehensive plan implementation metrics, which is just below the dashboard, as you can all see. And could you help me open the metrics? So that's how the matrix looks like, and it's what we have on our presentation. And this shows the elements, or it's the chapters. Then it shows the vision. Then it shows the goals, the policies, action. Then the type. Then it also shows the time frame. Then it shows the after the time frame, it also shows that status. Then it shows the next step. Then all of this is, we put all this in a dashboard to simplify the information on how to access each and every item. And let's go back to the dashboard. So on the dashboard, before you open, so on the dashboard, the information before you open the dashboard. So before we open the dashboard, there is an information that tells you that this is updated every time we add information to the matrix. It updates automatically, and the dashboard updates automatically. Even it updates the dashboard automatically. And this is the dashboard that we developed. And the first page, the first section is showing the elements. It filters the elements, the action, and the type, and the status. So when you click on, then the middle part shows the charts. Then the last shows the next step. So when you click on one item, it shows you the time frame, it shows you the status and where we are on that action. As you can see, the first action, we've not started it, and it's a 0 to 2 year period. That's the time frame. Then we have the next step. What's the next step? Which is at the last section. And this is so simple because it helps us track the implementation, and it will help us in decision making and also for transparency within our community. And as you can see, we've not completed anything yet. We still have things that have not been on the status part. We don't have anything complete yet. And once we update the metrics, it will be updated automatically. And we're still adding more information to it. So just we look forward to make it more interactive for everyone. And feel free to go to the website and just interact with it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abigail. And if we can just stay here for just a minute. Evan, can you click on the second one as well? So what you can also do is click on multiple action items, and each one will be reflected in the charts at the same time. Also, in the far left column, up above, there's an option to search. So if you would like to search, for example, for economic development, and it brings up all of the action items that have economic development in it. So if there's a term or an action that you're interested in searching for, you can do that using that search tab, and it will bring up all related action items to that search item. The website is live now, and the dashboard has been included onto the town's website, and we encourage everyone to access it and follow the status and the implementation of the comprehensive plan. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to share them with us. And this is an interactive process and a transparent process for the community. So we definitely encourage the community to stay engaged with us as we implement actually the community's plan, because it was adopted by council but reflects the community's values, vision, and goals and objectives. Then if we can go back to the presentation, I do have one more slide to share. And thank you all for your patience. We apologize for the delay. Great. So what's next? We will continue implementation of the comprehensive plan actions and report on the status periodically. The next update will be provided at the end of Q4 of fiscal year 26, which is June of this year. As previously stated, the actions are also defined by type: administrative action, capital project, code amendment, interagency agreement, and plan. And we will continue to identify and request funding, including grants needed to implement actions, especially capital projects and plans. The action items comprise a draft capital improvement program in accordance with the Code of Virginia. The draft capital improvement program includes capital projects and plans that will help identify and scope future capital projects and administrative actions, code amendments that will potentially create and generate additional capital projects. The town also has a capital improvement budget, and that budget includes capital improvement program items and fleet management items. Both the capital improvement program and the capital improvement budget will be brought back to town council for approval very soon. The comprehensive plan is a living document, and we will submit recommended amendments as they are identified. With that, we are happy to respond to any questions that council may have.
Okay, Chair Pro Tem.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thank you so much, Mr. Tabor and Ms. Cherotich. I am very impressed with this. It shows a very complete picture of how our strategic plan has shaped the comprehensive plan. And it also is an example of how we're delivering on the comprehensive plan. I like how it shows where we are in phases, what things are. And it's not, of course, you said it's not completed yet, but this was a 3-year process. So I've been really, I've had some conversations with the town manager about wanting things that are qualitative and quantitative. And this delivers on this. So I am very impressed, and I am looking forward to utilizing this tool. I'm looking forward to our citizens utilizing this tool. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Councilman Young.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Tabor, thank you so much for this presentation. It's great. Quick question for you. On your status of actions, I see where it says initiated 32%, ongoing 20%, but you have it in progress 1%. Can you clarify exactly what it is between in progress and initiated? They're not the same?
Thank you very much for the question. Initiated means the action item has been started, and in progress means that the action item has been underway to this point. So it's beyond started, and it is beyond ongoing.
And also, you said this is on the town's website.
Yes, on the planning page.
Okay.
And the comprehensive plan 2024 page, there is a link to the dashboard.
And just as you mentioned earlier, you said this is a fluid report. So as things get completed, it'll update automatically onto the
Yes,
site.
sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Ms. Abigail, welcome aboard. How long you been here?
Like a month.
30 days. As town manager, see, I'm smiling from ear to ear. Since we adopted this plan, this is the one thing I've been most excited about, and most thing I've been boasting about is we had this implementation plan in the back of our comp plan. Our previous comp plans were weak as they didn't have any implementation plan. So it was very important that we had an implementation strategy into this plan, how we were going to get funding, whose responsibility, what department was going to do it, and how long it should take. And, the accountability part was missing, but, we were eager to get this on the website. And so your skills have already exceeded. I'm already advocating for the bonus. Right? No, seriously, I've been asking for this for the entire time we got this, and you came in 30 days and you got this on the website. So the second part of it is awards that we should go after, right? That was the second part of the implementation, like Urban Planning Award, Smart City Award. So that's the part that's still missing, but you got the first part, which I'm so excited about. I'm smiling from ear to ear. Just, it keeps a timeline on some of the things we should be going after, because Dumfries, as this transformational community, we should be known nationally for what has been going on in the last 7 to 8 years. And so, it's not that people don't know about us. It's not, we're not keeping track of all of those things. So I'm just saying, thank you for your skill set, right? It's like when a person don't know how to swim, it takes them forever to figure it out. I've seen a lot of Marines who didn't make it past swim call because they couldn't swim. But you coming in here, we didn't have pools in most neighborhoods, so it took some people a lot longer to get through the pool. So you came in with just this skill set and got this done. And so I'm excited about this. Councilman Pete.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Tabor and Miss Abigail Sharochik, did I hit it right? Great job. I'm very good with Spanish, sir. All right. So, it's having spending some time down in El Paso. I got it together. So, but I want to say thank you guys for putting this together. I'm not going to go back to 5 to 7 years. Town manager, how long have you been here? There's been 3 here. I'm going to go back to only 3 years. Since our town manager has gotten here, we have seen a significant change. 5, 7 years ago, I ain't there. 3 years ago, I'm all the way there. Our town manager and staff has been knocking this town's agenda and what these citizens want out the park. Miss Abigail Saroch, I want to thank you for coming in at the time that you did and taking care of this in such a timely manner. My questions that I have: do we have this on to our Dumfries Citizens Connect? Or if not, can we get it onto our Dumfries Citizens Connect? All right, and then also, I'll save that for later. But I do like the fact of, when you challenge yourself, and I see this as a transparency mechanism for our citizens to be able to review. But also I see it as an internal way of measuring yourselves. And this will get the fire and ball moving. I definitely like this, guys. Town manager, staff, this is excellent. I like the direction that we're moving in. Thank you.
All right. Next on our agenda is a presentation on our town-wide branding. And I'm gonna have our public information officer come up to lead off this discussion.
Good evening, Honorable Town Council, Town Manager, members of the Town of Dumfries community. This evening, we're pleased to welcome Chandler Thinks. This is the firm that's been selected through the town's competitive procurement process to serve as the consultant for the Town of Dumfries town-wide branding campaign. Chandler Thinks will partner with the town to develop a comprehensive brand identity that reflects Dumfries' rich history, vibrant community, and our growing role as a destination. Their work will include engaging with our community stakeholders, assessing the town's current brand presence, developing a unified brand strategy, visual identity, messaging framework, and implementation plan to guide how the town is represented across all platforms and all materials. This initiative builds upon the vision many of us have embraced in recent years, positioning Dumfries as a destination town. Through this process, Chandler Thinks will help the town further refine and elevate that vision by creating a brand system that supports economic development, strengthens community pride, and enhances how the town of Dumfries is recognized. We're excited to begin this very important work and look forward to the insights and creative direction Chandler Thinks will share with us this evening. So I would like to bring up the owner of Chandler Thinks, Mr. Stephen Chandler, to walk us through their brief presentation. Mr. Chandler.
Good evening, everybody. How are you? Wonderful. All righty. So we today I arrived probably about 11:30. And it was literally my first impression into the community, first time I've ever set foot in Dumfries. Was able to have a tour by your public works director and by Tiffany, and to kind of get a first glance of the community. It wasn't the perfect weather that you had a couple days ago, I understand, but that's okay. We have that. Before we get started, our team will be here. We're planning on being here in mid-April to really, to kind of dig in. We'll have a series of groups and interviews and meetings that are scheduled. I believe there's some being scheduled with you all next week. I believe you'll be the first to actually speak with us about this project. But tonight, I wanted to make sure philosophically, since our company's been hired, that you have an understanding a little bit more. I know they went through a competitive process and interviews with everyone, but I wanted to look at you and talk to you a little bit about town branding, municipal branding, because we're probably all branding experts, and that's not meant to be sarcasm. I mean, it is sarcasm, but the truth is we are. We all are consumers, and we have opinions, and we make choices. And at the end of the day, brands are about making choices where we live, where our kids are going to go to school, where our business is going to thrive, where we want to locate our church. It's brands about choices, and so we all do that. And as we move forward on this effort, I kind of want to try to share a little bit of philosophies of what I've learned in working with about 140 places in the last 20 years. All of them are very interesting. None of them are like Dumfries, but there's some things that we can pull experience-wise that we can learn from. So I wanted to share a little bit of that and give you an opportunity to ask us any questions about the project we're about to move forward on. Does that sound good? Okay, great. Do I have a clicker? This is great. By the way, I like to have a little bit of fun because helping people brag about where they live is awesome. It's pretty cool. Do not make the fun be misconstrued with not taking it serious. There's nothing more serious than when I raise my babies. I'm pretty sure you feel the same way. All right. But it is fun. It should be fun to preserve. By the way, when people think branding, they think it's all promotion, chest beating. No, it's not. No, it's preserving. It is making sure we understand what is so valuable to our community so we can hold on to it. We're going to change because we're alive. If we're alive, we're growing. If you're growing, you're changing. But Let's make sure when we do change, let's do it in a way that preserves what's important to our community, the personality, the values, the character of our community. We can still move that forward even as we change, right? So preservation is a big part of it. I can tell that there's a little preservation interest in this community. You were on the map a long time ago. So anyway, so I wanted to put that out there. Preservation is super, super, super important. So I want to share a little bit about what we know about branding. First of all, who's this guy talking to you? I live in Franklin, Tennessee, by the way. Our company, this is all we do. We work with municipalities, either city government, town governments, village governments, county governments, sometimes regional regional conglomerates. And then sometimes we work with tourism when it's not a part of what I previously mentioned. But all we do is work with places. That's it. We don't work with banks. We don't work with bowling ball companies. I know that seems random. I used to work for a bowling ball company back in the day. That's my example. We don't work in healthcare, automotive. We work with places. We help places understand who they are, and we do that through research. We do some strategic planning, but we're really 70% of all of our invoices that go out for the last 15 years have been about branding a place like Dumfries. So it's a very tight niche, but it allowed us to learn a few things. As we compare branding to a pair of tennis shoes, often people do with a Nike swoosh or Apple computers or McDonald's or Coca-Cola. I want to say branding a community is way more difficult than a product or service. We have automatically 3 strikes against us when we're branding our municipality. And we have to understand that going into it because it affects how we approach it. Unlike a traditional business, branding a community is an organization. All organizations have employees. You provide services, sometimes goods, to consumers that pay for them in some way, shape, or form, right? So we are an organization, and the rules of branding apply. Graphical branding, familiarity, uniformity, consistency, all those things are going to apply. But unlike any other organization, we're also a place. And because we're a place, it creates very unique branding challenges that we have to know going into it. Number one, we do not own our name. If any of you all and myself would go into business together and come up with a new business, the first thing we would do, probably before we even do any legal paperwork, is come up with a really cool name, right? A name that, and we wouldn't come up with a name that someone already has, right? A name that's unique and that we can protect. And if someone misuses it, we'll keep them from doing it legally, right? We do not have the luxury of doing that. There's businesses with the name Dumfries in it, I believe, right? You share your name with every resident in some businesses, and they have the right to do that. We don't own our name as the town of Dumfries. You don't legally own it. Isn't that amazing? But you don't. Number two, we don't have single control of the product. Now, first of all, what is the product of Dumfries? Everybody here is a product of Dumfries. People before us, as we've witnessed tonight, are a product of Dumfries. Every roadway, every person's yard, every business, the way they take care of it, every story that gets reported about us in the news, whether we like it or not, everything is the product of Dumfries. And it makes it really challenging, right? Usually in branding, you know exactly what a Big Mac is going to taste like in every single McDonald's all over the world. Dumfries is a little bit different, no matter where, depending on how you enter Dumfries and how you come in contact with Dumfries, you're going to get a little bit different story. And so that creates some challenges. And lastly, there's no hierarchy of direction. I can't believe I'm looking at the council telling them this, right? And the manager and the mayor and the pro tem. You know, I live up the road from where I live is a place called Nashville. I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure you know what their brand is. We don't have to debate that, right? Absolutely, country music. And you believe it or not, I went to a citywide presentation by a consultant that they hired to take them through a process to determine You should be Music City. Can you believe that? I mean, they had to even do it, right? You know what didn't happen? The mayor of Nashville didn't send a memo to all residents, all businesses, and go, hey, we're going to brand ourselves Music City. We need you all to follow suit. In fact, I'd like some of you all to start up a new business and call it Music City Wheel and Tire, Music City Bank and Tire. I need some of you to truly embrace it. I need to change your promotional items for your businesses so they make us look good. That didn't happen. The reality is Nashville is Music City because it is. That's not a fair example. It's music, right? Country music. But you get it? That is really important. We can't force our brand down the community's neck. If we do our job correctly, it's going to be a reflection of what we learn from the community and what they say they're proud of. Reality is we're there, we're just not unified in telling that story, right? Often what happens is, you know, the old saying, you can't see the forest through the trees. That's very much the case. Whenever we, on the back end of this branding project, I always say, if I take a rabbit out of the hat, if you didn't see it coming, it's wrong. Just letting you know. It won't be a surprise. It'll be tight. It'll be focused and something that reflects something that we learned in the research. So it does create some challenges. I want to show you this graphic real quick. It's called a place branding wheel that we created after working with so many places. There's 8 pillars of every single community that give it its reputation. Any one can overwhelm it, by the way, right? For example, DC, civic leadership drives or some level of government overwhelms the DC brand. Bloomington, Indiana. Not many people know 2 things about Bloomington, Indiana. They know one big thing about Bloomington, Indiana, because education drives it so well. Houston, Texas is interesting. Believe it or not, Houston has a Subway sandwich shop and a dry cleaners. People don't know them for that, do they? No, they know them because of the oil industry, right? So whenever you have a business or a type of industry that overwhelms you, it can do it. By the way, some towns are known for having small mom and pops and antique stores. My point being, if you go around this wheel, these are different pillars of a community that really contribute to its reputation. What we want is when all of them contribute to it. That's the aspirational thing. And so a lot of our approach, and you look at what type of people do we want involved? First of all, we want the entire community involved, but I definitely want a representation of all of these things. I want the arts. You want to get the soul of a community told in a creative way that's memorable, get the art community engaged, right? Get students engaged, right? So, this, in a way, kind of gives you a philosophical approach to how we go about including the community, who we want to be involved, and even some of the questions that we ask when we'll go through this process is based on this. Our definition of place branding, you can read that if you'd like. I'll just tell you, it's everything that you do. It's the purposeful orchestration, not the accidental orchestration, the purposeful orchestration of everything that you do. Everything, right? The way you open up meetings, right? Dress code of employees or not. What we put on the side of our vehicles. Really, that matters? A little side note, the very first branding project I ever worked on about 20 years ago was Mesquite, Texas. And they were so excited about their tagline. Mesquite, Texas, the home of the mesquite tree. So not a big surprise without taking you into it. Their tagline was real Texas flavor. They thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I thought it was great too, until they put it on their waste vehicles and their trash cans around town, right? So sometimes the goal isn't just putting a logo on tagline on things, and I'm wrapping up, by the way. It's not putting your tagline and logo on everything. It's understanding your story. We have a story to tell, and sometimes we'll hint at that story with the logo. Sometimes we'll hint at that story with a tagline, but sometimes the stories and the types of programs that we offer and the landscape we have and the way we welcome people in our community. So I think that's super important. And then lastly, I'll leave you at this and you can ask me some questions. I believe the main reason we were selected is we do great creative work. There's no doubt about it. I know that was part of it, but it's because our focus is on community engagement. It is essential. This is a reflective of not any one person. It's what we find out through our research. You all will be involved in it, but so will the community, so will businesses in the community, so will residents in the community. We're actually going to go outside of Dumfries and do a quantitative survey to find out, what is your reputation? What do people say about you? Because it matters, because that's the needle we have to we have to know where we're at in order to go where we want to be, right? So our community engagement process is really led all through. This is just a visual of our process, but it's at the very beginning, and also when the plan that we provide at the end, because we've engaged the community. It's yes, we're going to make recommendations for your PIO, what you all can do in your branding. But we also believe that if branding is such a great idea for a community, it should help local business. And so how can they get involved? You know how they can't get involved? Use your logo. We don't want them using your logo. But the story is already theirs. So how could maybe the branding elevate what they're doing and get the community involved? So that's really our process to kind of give you the 411 best I could. And I'll take any questions you have.
Go ahead and talk about phase one real fast.
Yes, sir. This gives you kind of some bullets of these are all different pieces of research in our phase one. And it's not one piece of research, it's like 6 of them, right? We are, although I had a nickel tour today, we will be back in like I said, in mid-April, and there'll be about 3 of us, I believe, that'll be here to get a little deeper tour of the community. There will be a community quantitative study that'll be done where everyone in the community that wants a chance to give their 2 cents worth will have the opportunity to do so. That'll be, we'll give that information later. There will be some interviews and focus groups. There will be a public listening and learning meeting, probably in here, I'm assuming, where we have kind of a workshop mentality where people can give their input. We do some fun exercises along the way, a photo sort, things like that. The attitude awareness perception study is the outside study. It is what is the attitude and the perceptions that outsiders, but know us. We'll go within a 50-mile radius of Dumfries. And the only terms are you don't live or work in Dumfries to take it. So we'll find that out. And obviously, we put a heavy do a pretty heavy digital audit. Most of our communications with our citizenry and others exist in the digital space. So we have to make sure, are we effective in that space? And we also look a little bit of competitive wise, how we're comparing to other municipalities in our area. Sometimes you can get some great examples of what other people are doing well. Sometimes you can also learn what they're not doing well. So that's kind of the phase one, but it is all about that, because I'll be back here at one point. When we're done with all of this, I'll be back and I'll start the whole thing off with how many people were involved. The very first thing we'll do.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, Chair Pro Tem.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thank you for your presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
I do have some questions, if you can get into a bit of the specifics on the perception study. So obviously it's going to be within a 50-mile radius, but what takes place, because perception is kind of going to be shaped by a lot of different things.
Yes,
so how do we ensure that we have a variety of perceptions that weigh in, and how much of the branding will be focused on perception?
Yeah, for sure. So if you don't mind, can you clarify your question on variety of perceptions?
Yes, because your perception of Dumfries is going to depend very much on your experience with Dumfries.
Yeah.
So
that's
depending on if you target certain demographics, it could weigh on that perception in that study finally coming out. How are you going to verify that there's diversity in those perspectives that you get? Because if you go over to Montclair, they may have one perception. If you go to the city of Fredericksburg, they may have another perception.
Yeah.
So I want to know, how do we make sure that, it's not top heavy and that we, get a full.
Yeah, don't go in one area, for example. Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll identify a geographic area. It wouldn't be 360 degrees, a 50-mile radius would be in the water. So we'll go 50-mile radius and we'll take a random sample of population, actually. Now, because of the population, although you've got a heavy area a little bit below you, it probably would be skewed north of you a little bit, because that's the way statistics are going to roll when we buy our list. Okay. But it's going to be a random list. It will not be of one area, unless we said, for example, if we said we want DC or we want Alexandria and that's it, then it would skew, but we won't. We will have a 50-mile radius and say we want an even list. We'll buy the 50-mile radius. Again, it's going to skew where the heaviest population is.
Okay. So even with that skewing to population, when we talk about diversity of perceptions, how do we ensure that we have people from various socioeconomic backgrounds, various racial backgrounds, like just to get an accurate perception? Because one thing I'm very proud of with Dumfries is our diversity and how we're inclusive and how we include everybody. So we don't want to, where there's a lot of people could be Old Town Alexandria. Well, I don't know that they could give us I don't know that we get what we're looking for there. So how, even if we're going north, how do we encompass that to get an accurate measure on it?
Yeah, I want to say, I don't know this is the right answer, that probability should fall out and not be biased, I think. If that's not the case, when we buy our list, we can take a look at it to make sure. What I don't want to do is force an area, because then that's going against the nature of research.
No, I don't want to force an area, but I want to make sure. I think that what happens is we have systems and practices in place that are inherently biased. And what I'm really getting at is I want to make sure we're not doing that.
100%. No, this is usually a common question by city council, so we're pretty careful in our sampling of how we grab it. So, and we can share that before we actually go into the field with it, just to make sure. I think it's a smart thing to do.
All right, excellent. Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. I have a question and a comment. So I'll start with my comment. We've been growing a lot and transforming here in the town of Dumfries. And with that, we've had a lot of surveys, workshops, engagement going on. And what I know from my experiences throughout my career, that the participants start to experience fatigue.
Yes. sorry to speak on you. I see where that was going.
That's great that we're on the same page.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to just bring that to your attention so that you are aware and you are ready to combat that so that you can get the engagement that you need. Just be prepared for that, because with the fatigue that you will experience, we typically have not as much engagement as we would like. And with that will be the fatigue also. So I'm anticipating that you're going to have to work a little bit harder than the people before you who were seeking engagement from.
I've already answered these questions before, right?
Exactly. So there's that. The other thing that I wanted to know is, will this branding that you guys are going to do for us, will this help make us more marketable? And that's important to us because we are looking to grow our businesses and our business base and bring businesses to our area. And one of the challenges that we've been dealing with is, we've had retail strategists come in and tell us that, we need more density, or, we've been challenged with, instead of businesses coming here, they may start looking here, but then they'd end up right down the street. So will this branding help to make us more marketable to retailers and other businesses and things like that? Because for me, that's what I'm hoping to get out of this. What I'm not looking for is another pretty logo. I love our logo.
Yeah.
So I don't want a logo. I want us to be marketable.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's the ultimate goal. Yes, we want people to know who Dumfries is, because when I hear you say you're going to ask people within a 50-mile radius what their thoughts are of Dumfries, I'm thinking a lot of people are going to say, what is that? Where is it? Oh, near Quantico?
All right.
Because when people say, where are you from or where do you live? And I say Dumfries, they're like, where's that? And I have to say, right past Potomac Mills, right before you get to Quantico. They don't know where Dumfries is. And I get it, because Dumfries has infamously been where you drive through, not to, right? So they're not going to know that.
Yeah.
So my question is, what are we branding for? What are we going to get out of this?
Okay.
What's the end goal here?
If I could, let me comment on your first point about the other studies. Your staff, just to let you know, the very first phone call was of that issue, and it's very important. So we've already had I've met with the retail strategies folks, and another one. We've had a couple of phone calls with the consultants, and where we're sharing some of the studies that have already been done, so we're aware of that. First of all, it'll help towards this project, right? So first of all, before our team arrives, we will have already looked at the research that's already been done. It will affect some of the research that we ask, perhaps. I haven't looked at it yet, so I can't tell you for sure, but that's the goal, is to make sure we minimize the fatigue. That is a real thing. There's There's no doubt about it. I can't eliminate it, but I can try to minimize it for sure. So we are well aware of that, and trying to make sure we work together, the various consultant groups that are working. So there's that. Now, will it make you more attractive? Will it make you more marketable? I hope so. You know what I should do right now is just give you an absolutely, no doubt about it, yes, it will. But I'm not going to be P.T. Barnum for you. The reality is, there's an old saying, a great product is the best advertising that you could ever ask for. And we have to be a great product in order for us to be the most attractive we can be. Now, the branding should be reflective of that. A lot of times people say, well, is the branding going to be reflective of where we've been, who we are today, or where we're going? I think that's a fair question. And I'll say, you've already heard me talk about preservation, so I'll skip that. But you can only be the best you can be. We cannot act like we're something we're not. Can't do it. It will not work. People check you out once if you overpromise. They won't check you out again. And that is where the magic happens. The magic happens when people say, God, Dumfries was fantastic. I love it here. And my business was so successful here. You've got to come here, right? That's where we're going to be really attractive. So we're going to be aspirational getting to the future. We need to be aspirational. You all have too many plans right now that says that's not an option. You are in the aspirational mode right now. Right, with all that's going on with the comp plan, with the retail strategies plan, there's some district plans that are going on. Even I've heard some new ones today I didn't know of regarding the Quantico. You all got some big plans. You've got some big vision, and so we have to harness that vision for this. So yeah, it should make you more attractive. It should make you more marketable, but not superfluous. I don't believe that's the correct way to market a town. So you want to be relevant. There's some things. I like your logo too, by the way. You know what no one's ever done? Honey, we need to go to Dumfries. Let's check it out. Why? Look at their great logo. No one's ever done that. No one's ever done that about Nashville. No one's ever done it about Franklin. No one's ever done it about Washington, D.C. No one's ever visited a place, moved a business, moved their family because they have a great logo. It's because the story is great. It's because people talk about how friendly they are and how helpful they are, right? And they talk about what it looks like. If you want to go around that place branding wheel that I showed you, all those things matter. Historic preservation, I'll be honest, just so you know what kind of person you're dealing with, I expected more on your historic preservation when I arrived today. Because my only story of Dumfries was this first chartered town in Virginia. Or I get the story of the deep port. Only Massachusetts, Boston, Philadelphia, and New York were the only three cities that have more deep port business than Dumfries back in the day. Whoa, come on. Right? There's a big story. So when I read that, like a lot of people that are going to visit this place for the first time, I had pretty big expectations of what I was going to see. And it wasn't met. I don't mind saying it. So that tells me, so we look at what are we going to do? Now that's just that piece of it. That's just that piece of it, right? But we have story, we have a deep story to tell. And there's a lot of ways we can tell that story, right? Now, we're also not that place 200 years ago either. History's valuable, it's great, it looks great, it's wonderful. I love the fact that you all acknowledged your namesake. But reality is history should give us motivation that not just reflecting of what's been done, but that we can still do it today, right? That we can still become something. We can still be powerful, that every kid that goes to school at Dumfries Elementary can be great things, right? That's what history should do, is motivate us that it's still possible today. So we're going to be more marketable. We're going to be more attractive. I hope so. I hope that's what we're out to do. But we're all going to do this together. I hope that's a good answer for you.
Councilman Pete.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for the presentation. So I just have two questions, but I would like if you could answer them in less than a minute, sir. How would you position a small historical town to complete regional to compete for regional tourism? Because I see the word tourism here, and it's kind of highlighting and doing something to me here lately. So yes, how would you position the town of Dumfries in that sense to compete for regional tourism?
What region? This one? I mean, I'm assuming.
Yours in Tennessee.
How would I position Dumfries?
This one.
I don't understand the question. I'm sorry.
How would you market, being that you're going out here and marketing and branding, let's break this down, being that you're going out here and marketing and branding in the town of Dumfries, and I see in here in your wheel, right, in your wheel branding,
tourism's
that
there.
you have a window of tourism here. What is your approach on tourism for attracting regional interest here?
Well, the reason it's in that wheel is not necessarily because Dumfries should be is ready to be attracting tourism yet. It's because tourism plays a role in every community, whether they are strong tourism marketers or not. It's because tourism reflects outsiders bringing their money and visiting your community. Friends and family would be the number one thing, right? When people visit, I'm a good example of that. Your hotel is filled tonight, by the way. I'm staying at the Hampton Inn. It's completely filled up. And I said, why is this hotel filled? She said, we only have 4 rooms left. I said, why? She said, well, it's mostly business travelers today, but it's about to be a bunch of school groups for obvious reasons for field trips. She goes, but right now it's all business travelers. Those business travelers are getting a first impression of Dumfries. They're learning about it for the first time, unless they're repeat business travelers. The people at the front desk, whenever I ask them, where do I go eat? So that's why tourism is on there, because when visitors visit your community, which everyone who ever moves to your community every business that moves to your community was a visitor once. And that's why that's so important, because the people involved on the front line of welcoming visitors to our community make more impressions per day than any of you all do. Isn't that wild? Does that make sense? Now, if you want me to tell you, like stump the band, and you want me to tell you how I would position Dumfries for tourism, I'm not going to tell you that right now. I don't know enough about it yet. That's a trick question.
All right, great, real quick answer. I like it.
All right.
My last one, I'm not going to go to the 3. I'm going to stay at the 2.
Yeah.
Can you share any studies or cities and small towns or public sector clients you've worked with recently?
Golly, sure. Herndon, Virginia, is a good example. They're not too far away. Historic preservation, small town, and being affected by this big thing called Washington, D.C. affects them as well. Through the middle of the process, we did not change the logo, by the way. It wasn't about a logo. It was about a bigger story than that. So just to give you a good example, our goal isn't to change everything. It's to learn, and then let's make an assessment of what needs to be done. I think Danville, Kentucky is interesting. It's been a while since we worked on them, but the story reminds me of Dumfries. Danville's the birthplace of Kentucky. And history is all they heard. But the economic development people didn't want to be talking history if they're trying to bring new money into town. They didn't understand how can we use the history to actually leverage it to say that we can still do it. Their tagline ended up being they're historically bold. Yes, they were once historically bold, but today they are entrepreneurs are bold in their thinking what they do. So they found a way in their branding to take their story of what they've done and turn it into what they can do. And it worked really well. So I think that's a good example to look at. You can go look at their website. It's still on there right now.
Yeah, great answer. I will absolutely do that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you much for sharing those answers real quick, Mr. Mayor. That's all I have.
Looking forward to it.
Okay. I'm a formulate one of the questions to tie in the Vice Mayor and Councilman P. How specifically will this campaign increase the business development? How will it increase tourism? How will it traffic investor interest? How specifically do you see Story and Brandon increasing the tax base here in Dumfries?
Yeah, the goal of Story is emotional. We make big financial decisions all the time. And we look at pros and cons of why we should make decisions of move my family to where it is or why I should move my business to where it tips the scales often is the emotional part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned it earlier, but it wasn't meant to be a sidebar. There's nothing more emotional than where my family lives and where I work. And so I don't know how you put a dollar value to that, but it'll overcome a smart case to make a decision financially here. It'll win. Emotions will win, whether we like it or not. That's what we do. So the reality is ads by themselves, I don't think there's a big ad budget that you are planning. I didn't see anything in the RFP or in the budget that I looked at that you all have a big ad budget. So we're not going to advertise our way to greatness, right? It's through a lot of the work that you're doing now. But when people notice us because of all the work that you're doing, hopefully the branding, the goal of it is for that to get noticed, right? So the substance, the meat that's underneath it actually matters, right? But if they don't notice you, they'll never take and that's the goal of branding. Great branding, the goal is to be a great story that people want to know a little bit more.
Okay. At the 90-day mark, 90 days from now, what can the council and the public expect to see?
90 days from now, we'll have finished the research.
Okay. So 90 days, we're looking at research.
Yeah. So we'll be back here. I think, 90 days from, let's see, 6 is 30.
Contract.
We'll almost be done. In 90 days, actually, we don't start for another 3 weeks, 4 weeks, as far as doing most of the research other than interviews next week. We'll almost be done with the research then. I would say more like 110 days we'll be done with the research.
Okay. Once this whole campaign is done, who's responsible? I don't know. Is it on our staff or to adopt and to start to implement what the findings are?
Yeah, I'm assuming by roles, by my familiarity with a PIO, that your PIO will be the one to move it forward into anything, and your town manager. It won't be an overnight thing, though. There's a fiduciary responsibility that municipal governments have to their citizens. You don't want to be dumping out everything just because you have some new stuff. There's a rollout that needs to occur. Part of our phase 4 is a branding action plan. We call it a brand navigator, and it is how do you roll things out. I will go ahead and tell you, it's not a ta-da. There shouldn't be an unveiling of here's our new branding. It's not a parking garage. I can get more into details as we get closer of why not to do that and how to do a rollout properly.
Do we anticipate that funds will be needed beyond the contract for rollout? Madam Manager?
Mayor, as the recommendations come forward, there will be funds to implement some of the recommendations that we will bring forward to the council. Yes, sir.
Okay. Last and final question, and I know people are getting tired and we kept you up there for a long time, but yeah. What does success look like?
Success, it looks like in a year after we're finished, that you're starting to sing. I'd love it to be the day afterwards. It's never the day afterwards. What I've learned is some of you all will adopt it right away. And you'll be like, I think this is fantastic. This is our story. There's gonna be a couple of you that are gonna be like, I don't know. And what I've learned is everybody synthesizes this type of work differently. Some people get on board right away and some people just wait a little longer. It doesn't make them wrong. It just means they synthesize and take a little longer. Give them a break. But after about a year, you start to pick up momentum and you start to realize it's not just a logo, and municipalities start to see how they can get their story into their programming. Douglasville, Georgia, for example, changed as simple as their annual report. They quit calling it their annual report. They called it their impact report without giving you the whole brand story. But because they were doing so many things, comp plans, there were millions and millions and millions of dollars of things going on. The most iconic thing in their community, according to their community survey, was an orange cone. Sound familiar? Right? They had a lot of things going on. They changed their annual report to be the impact report because they wanted to always remind their citizens, we're doing things on purpose and making an impact on our community. That is as much branding to me as their logo, right? So I think those things are what matters whenever you see it rolling into programs and not just logos and taglines.
Well, we appreciate everything. I think that I'm excited to hear that our town manager and staff is communicating with all the vendors and all the contracts. It's the perfect storm. I think branding is essential for where Dumfries is at. We, over the course of the last few years, have been redeveloping its lost identity, and I think it is important to everyone to continue to tell that story and to be out there. Lastly, I just want to ensure that you know that the incorporated town of Dumfries is actually different than Dumfries as a whole. So we only 1.6 square miles in our limit and 6,000 residents. So, technically the Hampton Inn is not in the incorporated town of Dumfries. We got 2 hotels, the Rose and another one. So the Rose would have been a better choice because we'd have got a little revenue, but I won't hold you to that.
I heard this real smart consultant say you don't own your name and it could create confusion. That's a good example of why. I was trying my best to give money back to the community.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I put that on the record that he's not staying in the town of Dumfries, that he's outside of the incorporated limits. But thank you for your time. We're going to move on for the sake of time to the next presentation, but thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much.
All right, next on our agenda is the consent agenda. I'm not going to pull anything off. I'm just going to ask a few questions on the urban planning contract that we have up there. My question on the urban planning contract as we approve it, and for those watching, we've already sent it out for bid. We've been through all the procurement process. So today we're pretty much adopting that. I just want to know, do we know what in that contract, what those 60-day deliverables are?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to ask Mr. Vines to come up and give you 60-day deliverables.
Okay.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Chair Pro, Town Council. Looking at the contract, some of those deliverables will be determined as we continue to execute the contract. But there are some things like data collection, research, and some executive reports that within that 60-day timeframe should be produced. And so we're going to do a better drill down on identifying those as well as we continue to execute the contract.
Like things dealing with the existing conditions and civic engagement?
Yes, because there's several different possible deliverables. There's GIS data review, small area plan roadmaps, existing conditions report, environmental and cultural resource assessment. So when I say drill down, we'll get with them to see exactly what they'll produce first within that 60-day time frame. But from my review of the contract, data collection and research will be 2 of the highlights.
All right. Can you definitely send, after we execute this contract, can you send council a memo on that? Like, what are going to be those deliverables we want to?
Most definitely. We will provide an executive summary on the deliverables as identified in the contract. Yes, sir.
Okay. Who are the monthly briefings going to be with? Are they briefing us or they coming back to brief y'all?
So monthly briefings will be to staff, but we'll have quarterly briefings for council. But we can ensure that information is steadily moved along as requested.
Now, the contract also states that in 8 months, we will be delivered all 3. So I just want to make sure 8 months, we're going to get all 3 drafts. So are we looking at by November to have this whole contract executed and done?
This contract will be executed by November and done as the funding goes away at December of this year.
So they have to deliver by November.
So they have to be completed. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I just want to put that on record. This contract said it will be done in November. And lastly, to Chair Pro and the Vice Mayor's conversation, how will we measure the quality of engagement with this? Because that's always important. And the beautiful thing is, it's almost like the perfect storm with retail strategy going on, with the branding strategy, and now the urban planner coming in. How do we continue to pool all these resources together and measure? Because it seems like bringing all these in this 1 year, it almost could be the perfect storm. So how are we going to measure the quality of engagement?
So what we've been doing is, as we're bringing on different consultants, we actually been having them engage with them and our staff. We're making sure that that each contract is married with each other. Basically, I'm talking to you, they're talking to them, and we're bringing them all to the table to make sure they understand that the town has one comprehensive vision and goal and how their contracts overlap. And strategically, we're going to basically measure the quality of our product by the professional standards. Our staff is constantly monitoring the vendors, checking in with them. We're looking at the various deliverables that overlap and looking at the performance metrics and how we evaluate it throughout their criteria. So we're also making sure that each contractor is accountable for their contract. We're having milestones checked in, and we're making sure that if we receive invoices, they actually sticking to the deliverables that was in the invoices. So as opposed to Public Works having individual meetings on the waterfront district or the brownfield grant, and planning, having conversations on urban planning, and PIO having conversations on brand. And now we're putting all of them in a room with their contractors and say, we need to make sure this story is told collectively so we're all marching to the same beat of a drum.
Thank you. That's all I had. Those are the questions I wanted to make sure before we get to that consent agenda. All right, so now council, the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and second. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Are you seeing? Yes, ma'am.
Discussion.
Vice Mayor.
When it was motioned to add the additional items to the consent agenda, I voted against it because I was surprised by what was presented to add to the consent agenda, and I don't like surprises because we did not have an opportunity to prepare for it. I do appreciate the town manager using the stretch break opportunity to share with us the context of the resolutions that were added to the consent agenda. So I just provided that additional context for edification for our residents so they understand what my vote was earlier.
And just for edification for the public, we got deadlines for congressional direct spending and a lot of the federal funding. And our congressional representative said, get us this resolution by Friday. And so that's why it got put on the agenda. So it's always time constraint, and we want to be competitive and make sure we have a seat at the table. All right, with that, there's no further discussion. Madam Clerk, please call for the question.
Councilmember Pete,
Yes.
Councilmember Young,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miles,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nickerson,
Yes.
Mayor Wood.
Yes.
That motion's passed.
All right, there are no action items. Did we have a closed session item? Okay. The town of Dumfries desires to go into a closed meeting pursuant to the Code of Virginia to discuss, consider prospective candidates for appointment, discussion, and consideration, including but not limited to the appointment, assignment, and performance of specific public appointees pursuant to 2.2-3711 Alpha 1 of the Code of Virginia.
Was that your motion?
I make that as a motion.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, call for the question.
Councilmember Pete,
Yes.
Councilmember Young,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miles,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nickerson, Mayor Wood.
Yes,
We are now in closed session.
okay. All right, we've completed our discussion in closed session with everything that heard, discussed, and considered in closed session with only things that were identified in the resolution by which we would convene according to Virginia Section 2.2-3712. I motion everybody who votes for this, only public business matters that were lawfully exempt from public meeting were heard, discussed, or considered. That's the motion.
Second.
All right, it's been motioned and second. Any discussion? All right, seeing done, Madam Clerk, please call for the question.
Councilmember Pete,
Yes.
Councilmember Young,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miles,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nickerson,
Yes.
Mayor Wood.
Yes.
We are now in open session.
All right. All right, is there any action? Okay, there's no action, no motions.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Councilmember Russell Young to serve as a town council liaison to the Dumfries Youth Advisory Committee pursuant Resolution 25 TAC R TAC 06 Section 2.
I second that motion.
All right, any discussion? All right, seeing no discussion, Madam Clerk, please call for the question.
Councilmember Pete,
Yes.
Councilmember Young,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miles,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Mayor Wood.
Yes,
That motion's passed.
at this time, the meeting is adjourned.